Hello, my name is Melissa Riddle, and I'll be presenting on forecasts and high growth areas to keep an eye on. First, we're going to look at the HPC server market split by price band. So the top line number here, the blue line is supercomputers. As you can see, it's expected to represent both the largest portion of revenues among the price bands, as well as experience the highest growth at 9.7%. It is important to note that in 2023 here, we did have a slight dip. That is primarily due to exascale systems, which we are expecting to still be installed. They were delayed, so those revenues will still be realized later in the forecast. But overall, supercomputers is expected to drive the bulk of the growth within the on-prem server market. Next slide here, we're looking at the on-premises broader market for HPC. So the top line number here is now all servers, followed by storage. Storage is expected to have the highest growth over the forecast period. We did talk a little bit about some of the drivers there earlier, so I won't repeat it too much. And servers is expected to be the second fastest growing overall out of the broader market categories on premises. Cloud will come later. Here we're going to be drilling some more into types of HPC systems. So here we're starting with the ARM-based systems forecast. The blue line here is our updated forecast as of December. And below that, you can see the previous forecast that we created about a year ago. And notably, we did increase our forecast pretty dramatically. In the next slide, we'll look at some of the drivers there. But the new CAGR that we're expecting to see is 45.2%. And that would cause system revenues to about triple here. It is important to note, of course, that this is the total systems revenue of HPC systems that are ARM-based, meaning at least 50% is ARM-based processors, and not just the cost of the processor boards. Just in 2024, we're expecting ARM-based HPC systems revenue to double. There's a lot of growth going on in the ARM ecosystem. We're seeing new entrants that are adopting ARM processors for the first time. Existing users are ramping up the size of their systems, the complexity, meaning like incorporating GPUs, higher bandwidth memory, that sort of thing, the number of systems that they're purchasing for their HPC sites. We're seeing an ongoing expansion of the ARM-based products that are available and also the vendors. So for example, NVIDIA's Grace Hopper is a new product that has come on the market, and there's expected to be a various line of those things where we have super chips that are ARM-based and have GPUs. There's a lot of buzz and interest there. Overall, all these factors are causing ARM-based offerings to rise in cost. And we're seeing some pricing inelasticity here with respect, especially to the ARM-based GPUs, super chips, where it's allowing system prices to rise without really having that corresponding drop in demand that we would typically expect to see, at least over the next few months. Here we're looking at AI-focused HPC servers. So just like with ARM-based, AI-focused is defined as HPC systems that are used for AI workloads at least 50% of the time. The complement of that is traditional HPC-focused servers, which we have all three of those here. Top line is HPC servers overall, followed by traditional focused and then AI focused. And what you'll definitely notice here is that AI-focused HPC servers are expected to have a high growth at 33.6%, and are expected to almost overtake or around the 2028 timeframe traditional HPC-focused servers. AI, because of that growth, is expected to about quadruple between 2023 and 2028. It is definitely worth noting, though, that this doesn't necessarily exactly represent how workloads are used on HPC systems, because a system that is purchased for HPC typically will run both traditional HPC jobs and AI jobs over its lifetime. And the ratio of those can change, over its lifetime as well, depending on what users are planning to run on that system. But here we're classifying it we're classifying systems according to their primary usage. Another thing that I wanted to mention here is that there is sort of a trade-off between some of these trends. So some of the AI systems that are being purchased are incorporating ARM-based systems. So there's sort of a feedback there with both those high growth areas. We're seeing that also with AI to cloud. We'll talk about the cloud forecast overall next. But we are seeing that AI training and inferencing is one of the things that's accelerating usage of cloud HPC, especially because training models are requiring a large number of computational resources. You might approach full utilization for an extended length of time when you're doing a training. And there's usually a relatively small number of users and jobs there. But when we look at inferencing, it's less computationally intensive. Typically, you might use a lower system utilization, but there's more users and more jobs. So as the focus in AI shifts towards inferencing, we are expecting that to feed some cloud growth as well, because those smaller jobs might be more suited for the cloud than the training portions. So there might be some more benefits to examining on-prem versus cloud. Here we're looking at the cloud forecast. We've stacked here the last 3 versions of the cloud forecast. We have the top line is the most recent one, which is in the highest one. We're expecting to see 21.4% growth over the forecast period right now. And we've increased it again substantially due to strong market drivers, some of which was discussed earlier in the cloud section. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and thank you for your time.